Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing the Bitcoin ETF inflows rebound to 6-week highs as the Bitcoin price reclaims 97 Gs. Also, this just in, El Salvador has bought more of the biddy for their strategic Bitcoin reserve this morning. We'll also be discussing Trump has reportedly referred to Bitcoin as the new oil. Preach. We'll also be discussing the Bitcoin hash rate taps yet another all-time high, as well as MicroStrategy eyes more Bitcoin with a potential $2 billion preferred stock offering. And of course, Trump Jr., I guess Eric Trump, he just met with Michael Saylor the other day. What do you think they were discussing? We'll also be discussing U.S. accounts for over 40% of the global Bitcoin hash rate, according to this latest report, as well as Bitcoin Prime to see multiple months of new all-time highs, according to PlanB, creator of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model. I've been breaking down his timeline. We'll also be discussing the BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes, just blazed, says another signpost has appeared on Bitcoin's path to hitting $1 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much motherfucking more in today's show. But anyways, fam, if you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes, then go ahead and subscribe. Then hit that sexy little bell icon, turn on all notifications. Today is pod episode 1868. I'm your host, JV. It's Sat Stack and Saturday, the very first Sat Stack and Saturday of the new year, January 4th, 2025. Welcome everyone to the live stream. We had a nice pump over the past couple of days. We're still hovering above 98,300. Happy days. Ether is in the green, trading above 36 hundo. Sui is in the green, up 8% as the majority of the alts are correcting, and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. Current crypto market cap, fantastical 3.5 trillion. Bitcoin market cap fast approaching the 2 trillion milestone, currently sitting at $1.946 trillion. We got 96 billion worth of the volume for the past 24 hours, with Bitcoin dominance at 55.6%, with the Ether dominance finally back on the rise at 12.5%. And Vitalik is going wild. And check out top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours. The Pudgy Penguins are leading the pack. I repeat, the Pudgy Penguins, 14.5% gain on the day. Then you have IOs up 9%, followed by Sui up 8%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your motherfucking boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day, and it looks just like similar to yesterday. Fartcoin leading the pack in the month as the majority of alts are Rex City in the blood red. But zoom in into the daily, you can see the majority of the alts, I'd say like 55-45 green over red. And Fartcoin's not up today, is it? And checking out the crypto green and fear index today, we're 73 greed yesterday, 74 greed last week, 72, and last month in 84 in the extreme greed. And checking out the time chain calendar, we have 172,171 blocks until the next halving in 2028. Maybe Bitcoin will be well above $1 million by that time. Let me know your thoughts. And we're currently on block height 877,829, but who's counting besides me? And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,017 sats. So stack them sats and put down the gats. But anyways, fam-a-lam, let's continue with today's astrology for the broskies. I'll be pulling up some of the live charts, but first I want to read you the headline and the story. Bitcoin ETF inflows rebound to 6-week highs as the Bitcoin price reclaims 97. That's right. Bitcoin's making rebounds like Dennis Rodman in his prime. Move over, Scottie Pippen. Bitcoin held 97,000 yesterday, Jan 4th, as the Wall Street trading week of 2025 yielded a key support reclaim, as you can see here in the 1-hour chart. And I'll be pulling up the live charts here in just a few moments. So yeah, TradingView showed Bitcoin consolidating after year-to-date gains, topping 6% and extending a comeback that began on New Year's Eve. Bitcoin reclaimed the 50-day simple moving average, a level that traders previously described as an essential for the bull market continuation, quoting Skew Analytics. Bitcoin closing strong and sustaining momentum from here. Despite the latest progress, many remain cautious on the biddy price action, even adopting a bearish outlook for January. Quoting fellow trader Sant here, unless we breach 99 Gs and flip it a support, I think we'll see lower prices in January. Pretty simple triggers for me here. Break and flip 99 or retest the 90 to 88 zone. Now another trader, Crypto Tony Montana, confirmed that he was eyeing a relief bounce followed by another drop to around 90 Gs, not expecting much movement during the weekend for the biddy. And alts might see some action, says Dan Crypto Trades. The weekend can offer some decent dips buys if we get it. My bias for the Q1 is bullish, so I am not worried about any short-term movements or no hair Claire Gares of the chairman of the SEC. And the chart also showcased the latest closing price of the CME Group Bitcoin futures, a level that typically acts as a short-term price magnet once the market reopens, quoting Dan Crypto Trades again. The first full week of 2025 will give us a better idea of where this is heading in the short term. Meanwhile, Bitcoin ETF staged a $900 million comeback. That's almost $1 billion. That's right. A fast turnaround, arguably fitting for the 16th anniversary of the Genesis block, which we just celebrated recent, and institutional investors piling into the Biddy products that in the days prior had seen record outflows. That's right. Data from sources, including Farside, showed Fidelity and was the largest share of the influx at 357 million of outflows. And the largest of the ETFs was IBIT, managing 253 million. Big money is back to buying after the Christmas year end of the sell-off. And also quoted here, as long as the Coinbase Premium Index remains above the simple moving average, I will likely continue testing the positive zone. According to Crypto Quant, this suggests that US-based buyers could exert stronger influence over the Bitcoin price trajectory. And breaking news, El Salvador bought more of the Biddy for their strategic Bitcoin reserve this morning. God bless Bitcoin country. Shout out Max and Stacy, Chandy, and JV will be in El Salvador celebrating with the high priest in just a few days. Cannot wait. And breaking news, Trump reportedly refers to Bitcoin as the new oil. So there you go. And checking out some of the fresh charts. Let me pull this up for you guys. You should be able to see here on your screen. This is brought to you via TradingView via Coinbase, the 1 hour chart. We have some rising wedgie in the formation. We do have a green target of 108.5 in play. Again, that's the 1 hour. Zooming out on the 4 hour, we get some different looks. 4 hour says it's going up forever, Laura. We have a red target at 110 and a green target at just shy of that. I'd say probably just maybe 109. And zooming out from the 4 hour, take a quick look at the 1 day. 1 day says lots of targets. We also have that rising wedgie. The bull target is currently also sitting at 110 or 110.2, which would re-enter price discovery from here. 108.3 is the current top, all-time high. And we also have a target on the 1 week, a cup and handle at 124,000. Let me know when you feel we'll likely smash that target. And we all love smashing targets, especially the broskies. And zooming out on the monthly, you can see the Moonvember candle, the biggest we have had, almost a 30,000 gain in fiat price action for the month, practically $1,000 a day every day for the month. And then we had the red corrective, and we're already forming a green, just kicking off the new year of 2025. But there you have it, fam-a-lam. Let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action likely to take us next, and I'll do my best to read your comments out loud, and welcome everyone to the live stream. But anyways, let's go on to our next story of the day. We got a lot to share. Bitcoin continues tapping new all-time highs. As far as the hash rate is concerned, we all know the price follows the hash. The Bitcoin hash rate is the total computing power securing the network, which reached an all-time high of over 1,000 exahashes per second. January 3rd, that was the celebration of the 16-year since the Genesis block. Shout out Satoshi. That's nearly double the network's hash rate from 12 months ago. Let that sink in. Bitcoin's hash rate hovered at 510 exahashes per second in January of last year. And at this time, the Bitcoin hash rate retraced to approximately 780 exahashes per second. The network's rising hash indicates the Biddy miners are devoting more of the computational resources to the blockchain, thus improving the network security, making it the most secure network to ever exist. Miners are continuing to expand production even after the Biddy April halving, reducing the mining rewards from 6.25 of the Biddy to 3.125 per Biddy block. And in 2024, the Bitcoin strong performance partially offset the headwinds from the halving, especially for the cash-heavy mining companies such as Riot Platforms and the CleanSpark. Mining firms acquired other miners with turnkey facilities, increasing the near-term hash and increasing their power pipeline. JP Morgan said December 10th research note sharing with Cointelegraph. The miners have also prioritized the accumulation of liquidity on the balance sheet. For example, in December, JP Morgan raised the price target for 4 Bitcoin mining stocks to reflect the value from the miners' electrical power assets and the Bitcoin holdings, according to JP Morgan. JP Morgan cited the stock market performance of the MicroStrategy, a software company turned de facto Bitcoin fund, which traded at a roughly 2.4x multiple to the value of its Bitcoin treasury as of December 10th. And speaking of MicroStrategy, shout out to the Giga Chad, Mikey Saylor. The Bitcoin miners, Marathon, Riot, and the Clean Spark hold the Bitty treasuries with approximately 4.4 billion, 1.7 billion, and 910 million, respectively, according to the Bitcoin Treasuries.net data service as outlined right here on your screen. The Bitcoin rising hash and the reluctant improvement of the network security is especially important as the institutional investors are pouring their capital into the Bitcoin ETFs and other regulated crypto investment vehicles. In November, the Bitcoin ETFs broke 100 billion worth of the net assets for the first time, according to Bloomberg. And asset manager Singam expects this dynamic to accelerate this year as the large institutional investors, as I have referred to as the institutional FOMO like a mofo, including the sovereign wealth funds, the endowments, the pension funds, adding the Bitty to the allocation. Quoting Martin Berger, the Sangam chief client officer, who shared in a statement, with improving U.S. regulatory clarity and no clear gare, the potential for the Bitcoin to be recognized as a central bank reserve asset. 2025 could mark a steep acceleration for the institutional participation for the crypto assets. And there you have it, yo. It's going up forever, Laura. And if you don't know, now you know. Bro, ski. Let's get it. MicroStrategy eyes more the Bitty with a potential $2 billion preferred stock offering. And we just saw the photo with Eric Trump and Saylor the other day. What do you think they're plotting? Strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States, just saying. But MicroStrategy, the largest corporate hodler of the Bitty, is eyeing a $2 billion raise from a perpetual preferred stock offering to buy more of the Bitty in a move that would expand on the company's 21-21 plan. Happy 21-21. The perpetual preferred stock may be obtained through the converting of the MicroStrategy Class A common stock, paying a cash dividend, redeeming the shares, or a combination of those. The Bitcoin stack and business intelligence firm explained in a January 3rd statement. A Saylor said right here, MicroStrategy targets up to $2 billion of the capital raise through the public offerings for the perpetual preferred stock in the first quarter of 2025. The offering is separate from the MicroStrategy ongoing plan to raise the $21 billion in the equity and the $21 billion in fixed income instruments. A strategy is largely implemented in the recent months to fuel the Bitcoin buying spree through the senior convertible notes and debt. The perpetual preferred stock offering, which MicroStrategy intends to use to strengthen the balance sheet and buy more of the Bitty, is expected to occur sometime this quarter, quoting them here. However, the decision whether to proceed with the consummate and the offering of the MicroStrategy sole discretion and is subject to the market and other conditions. MicroStrategy may choose not to proceed with or consummate the offering at all. The perpetual preferred stock offering is also senior to the MicroStrategy Class A common stock. And my question for y'all, how many of you have any sort of exposure to MicroStrategy stock? I'll let your boy let me know. I'm curious. Now, MicroStrategy currently owns 446,400 Bitcoin, valued at roughly $44 billion according to the Bitcoin treasuries. It purchased 257,250 Bitcoin alone in 2024. That's crazy. The company's largest Bitcoin buying year yet, and they adopted Bitcoin back in 2020. They were the first publicly traded company to do so. They had the first mover's advantage. Then 446,400 Bitcoin have been purchased at a dollar cost average of 62.5, meaning MicroStrategy is currently at 57.2% on its Bitcoin investment. The first Bitcoin investment strategy was orchestrated by Executive Chair Mikey Saylor, who had played a key role in paving a way for the corporate Bitcoin adoption around the world. Saylor's Bitcoin strategy also benefited MicroStrategy shares massively, which increased 13% on January 3rd to $339, up 438% from this time last year. MicroStrategy had marginally fallen 0.19% since the MicroStrategy preferred stock offering plan was announced in the after hours. And there you go, the current MicroStrategy price just shy of $340. Again, let me know if you got any exposure to MicroStrategy, and I'll read your comments out loud. The headline reads, U.S. accounts for over 40% of the global Bitcoin hash rate. Didn't Trump just say that All the Bitcoin's going to be minted in the United States. The United States of America will become the Bitcoin mining capital of the world. Well, 40% of all the Bitcoin is already mined in the U.S. Interesting, right? 40% of the Bitcoin network global hash rate, the total computing power securing the Bitcoin protocol at the close of 2024. Two U.S.-based mining pools, Foundry USA and Marapool, accounted for 38.5% of all the blocks mined. And according to the Miner Mag, Foundry USA grew its hash rate from 157 exahashes per second at the start of last year to roughly 280 exahashes per second by December. Foundry is currently the single biggest mining pool by the hash rate, controlling roughly 36.5% of the total hash rate at the Bitcoin network. Data from the hash rate index shows Marapool currently commanding approximately 32 exahashes per second, which is 4.3% of the total hash power. Despite the increases of the computational power, China-based mining pools still control the majority of the global hash rate. China, eh? That's okay. In September, CryptoQuant founder Qi Zhangyu noted the Chinese mining pools control 55% of the global hash rate, despite the 2021 ban on crypto. Chinese miners can circumvent the ban by using virtual private networks we know as the VPN, which mask their IP address to connect to the mining pool. Additionally, peer-to-peer apps allow the Chinese residents to bypass the national firewall in the exchange cryptos. That's right, I know from first-hand experience. I lived in China for 13 months in the mainland, and the only way to use the social media we have here in the United States was through a VPN because it's literally banned. Every major social network has been banned in China for decades. You can't make that ish up. And they have their own version of every social network. So like instead of YouTube, they have Youku, etc. The geographic distribution of the miners, particularly small miners participating in the mining pool, also makes it difficult to estimate the true hash dominance. Mining pools may have the headquarters in one country, but may rely on the computational power contributed by the miners outside of that particular jurisdiction, according to the Miner Mag that wrote that article back in September of 2024. The concentration of the computational power into the small set of the mining pools has raised alarms amongst the industry execs. For example, back in October, co-founder of CEO of the mining chip manufacturer, Autodine, shared that the Bitcoin decentralization was a matter of the national security. The CEO warned the critical mining infrastructure, such as the application-specific integrated circuits we know as the ASICs, should not be manufactured with only one jurisdiction to avoid the supply chain risks. It also added that no country should control the majority of the Bitcoin network hash rate to keep the decentralized currency as neutral as possible. And there you go. Next story of the day, broskies. Here's a $500,000 target from PlanB, created the Bitcoin stock to flow model. Here's the latest. Quant crypto analyst PlanB says the Bitty is gearing up like Metal Gear Solid for the months of the new all-time highs. How many of you caught that Metal Gear Solid throwback reference from the PlayStation when I was that middle school? Holy moly. In a new video update, crypto strategist PlanB tells his YouTube subs that 2025 will have many months that will see Bitcoin reach new heights it hasn't witnessed before, aka price discovery. Quoting him here, historically, if we have an all-time high of the price, there's a high probability that we'll see more all-time highs in the price. We saw that in 2020, 2021, in 2017, and in 2023. Why are those years all significant? Because it's either year of the halving or the year preceding the halving. For example, 2020, year of the halving. The year preceding the halving, all-time high, 2021. And of course, 2016 was a halving. Year after the halving, 2017, all-time high, 20 Gs. And then, of course, the first halving was 2012. The year after that, massive parabolic run-up in 2013. Quoting him here, a new all-time high leads to another all-time high and a whole bunch of the other all-time highs. So yes, we had an all-time high in December of 108,000. But not the closing price. However, I do expect for 2025 that we'll see many more months with the all-time highs, similar to the previous bull markets. I ain't talking about the Chicago Bulls either with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And according to PlanB, Bitcoin, the average price for the cycle is going to be $500,000. However, he knows it'll likely not be exactly $500,000 and fall somewhere between $250,000 and $1 million. The stock to flow model looks forward in time and gives the 2024-2028 target of an average price of $500,000 per Bitty. Now, the rule of thumb, one standard deviation band is about 2 times the 500,000, which is a milli, and 500,000 divided by 2 is 250,000. So we have a wide range of 250,000 to 1 million, where I expect the average of the 4-year price cycle to be. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Plan B. For the BTC, in name of GOD, the stock to flow model compares the supply of the asset of the commodity with the flow of the production. And there you go, crypto bros. Now for our featured story of the day. BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes just blaze. Says another signpost has appeared on Bitcoin's path to hitting $1 million per coin. Let's break down the latest from Arthur Hayes just blaze. He believes one catalyst can help send the Bitcoin price to 7 figures as the U.S. debt continues to mount. He shares with his followers on X that if the U.S. banks receive a supplementary leverage ratio, which is an SLR rule change, that the liquidity could flood the markets, giving Bitcoin a massive boost. A temporary SLR rule change was provided during the COVID plandemic to ease the strains in the treasury market, resulting from the Novid and increased banking organization abilities to provide credit to households and businesses. The SLR determines how much liquidity large banks need to have on hand to make sure the banks do not take on too much of the risks. Quoting Hayes, the PR campaign by the U.S. banksters to get an SLR exemption is in full swing. This is top news on my Bloomberg Wednesday. This allows the banks to buy the U.S. Treasury securities with infinite leverage and easily fund the insane amount of the U.S. government debt issuance. Another signpost on the road to Bitcoin smashing 1 million per coin in spectacular fashion. And last month, Hayes said he believes Bitcoin may hit 1 million per coin this cycle due to the global central banks increasing the money supply as pretty little money printer go brr. Quoting him here, I believe we can go to $1 million. End of the cycle, 1 milli, because the amount of the money that's going to be printed is going to be absolutely insane, as every government around the world does the same thing, which is to print money to make my people feel happy because the global growth is slowing. I think that we're in a transition period of a global financial system. We are going to change it. The elites will resist the change, which means they are going to print a lot more money and a lot more money that's ever been printed because they don't just want post-World War II U.S. hegemony to change. And there you go. And that's coming directly from Arthur Hayes. Just blaze. And let me know if you agree with $1 million Bitcoin price. I mean, that's right in alignment with my bullish price trajectory for the Bitcoin price. 1.1 million in play. What do you got to say to that? Bears. Fruits and veggies. I appreciate the super. Just been buying the dips, my man. HODL. All is well. The universe is aligning to our calls. I'll hit the gong for that, brother. Let's send Bitcoin where it belongs in price discovery mode. Send it. Full send.